What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, who will be in a minute. He's just off to the side right now. I'll patch him in just a second. He's getting some tidying up a little bit over there. But coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And guess what today, y'all? I want to acknowledge the first 5 people, special people, that log on to the Facebook first via either Facebook Live or YouTube Live. And here are the starting 5. They're affectionately called the starting 5. Todd Holmes, Rod Wells, Rick Brown, Anissa Ville, Kim Jackson. The other 4 is on the Facebook feed. Kim Jackson is bringing up the YouTube feed. And then my 6th person of the year, special person, is Tyandra Holmes. And great day from y'all, man. I got some stuff I want to share to y'all before Jimmy get on. First of all, I want to have a shout out. Finna be a little funny, a little sarcastic today. Shout out to Ron Isley, Wesley Snipes, Sammy Davis Jr., Red Fox, and anybody that went to jail for their taxes. Shout out to y'all today. And I don't have to talk about it too much. If you read anything of the news, you know what I'm talking about. But I also shared somebody sent me a message yesterday, said, we all must vote. A fight isn't decided by judges when it ends up in a knockout. I'm going to repeat that. A fight isn't decided by the judges or the Supreme Court or that if it wins in a knockout. So we got to do a great job. We got a lot of sports that we're gonna cover. We're gonna cover the NBA. Jimmy went out of town this weekend and covered some kids up in Louisiana. It's just gonna be a great show today. But before Jimmy come back, I thought about something this weekend, y'all. Check this out, parents. What's up, Kimberly? The most photographed figure in the 20th century was abolitionist, freedom fighter Frederick Douglass, who once was said, he said this, check this out, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. Let me repeat that. Frederick Douglass, very important man. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He said it's easier to build strong children. Y'all got to hear me. I'm going somewhere with this. Than to repair broken adults. What's up, Barry? Out there in Scottsdale. Oh, Barry, that's my town. So, given the current landscape, I was looking at the current landscape Jeremy Johnson of this country. The construction site for building children should be marked as unsafe. As a matter of fact, some parental permits should be revoked. What's up, Joe Pulliam? Shaquetta, I got something for you. And a faulty equipment that has been utilized, regrettably, has rendered far too many emotional disabled youth. This past summer, just gonna help you out. This past summer, might as well cemented PTSD into the souls of many who are still in puberty, are pubescent. Nobody is yet talking about this account. Not that much. That it was a 15-year-old girl who took the video of George Floyd being murdered. She was on her way to an amusement park, ladies and gentlemen. What was the psychological repercussions and consequences of witnessing such a horrendous sight? Nobody has really expended a lot of energy, y'all, and me too, and a lot of us, to the Jacob Blake, who was shot 7 times by the police in his back, all in front of his children, Rick Brown. And it pains me that as a society, we has normalized sanctioned executions. That now they come in on the news and on social media with no advisory, giving no thought as to how it will impact our children who repeatedly view them. And there's a whole lot of studies, if you go and look at the psychological studies, how this impacts our kids, man. So let's not get, let's think about what we're doing. You know, and I hate this, you know, to start to show off that, but it's very important that we got to think about what we're doing when when these things happen to our children. Talk to our children. Get them help. You remember, I never forget, Rick. I never forget when I always tell your parents not to be hard and not to discipline your kids. But in this society they're growing up in now, especially when you put a lot of pressures on them, basketball, this and this, basketball, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to get mom out the hood, you got to get, you know, some of these kids, I'm finding when they talk to me, they suffering from a little PTSD. I mean, it's just something. It's something, y'all. We just really got to pay a little more attention to it. But back to let's get back to business. Let's talk about, because I know I'm waiting on Jimmy. He hadn't popped on the screen because we got to get this. We got to get this football. We're gonna talk about the Monday night picks. I haven't looked. PTSD. I'm sorry. I know. My bad. You know, I'm a little dyslexic sometimes. But y'all, this is what I did. I don't know if y'all can see this. I printed out my sample ballot. Right? So I can study. Give me time to study everybody. Everybody. It's a sample ballot. Everybody that I'm thinking about voting for, because I'm gonna vote. And I just printed it out. So when I get to, hey Dorian, when I get to the polls, when I get to that voting booth, y'all, I'm gonna already be ready, and y'all gonna always be ready. Because if y'all need the link to go get your sample ballots, I got to remember where I should have copied that link. But hey Brandy, if I'd have copied that link, I could have got it to all of y'all. But I promise you, in the next day or so, I'm gonna find that link where I went to. But I found it so unique that now I can go study each candidate that I'm able to vote for. So when I get in there, I'm gonna come in there with a different confidence. Hey, now let me tell you something. Jimmy back in the, yeah, but Jimmy, I took a picture. I took a video of an old guy, right? This how I'm gonna walk into the voting booth, y'all. This how Robert Haller, and I'm gonna vote early. But this how I'm gonna walk in there. Why everybody wanna play the same? Don't understand it. You do Hey, yeah, that's how I'm walking into that voting booth, y'all. I'm going to have my sample ballot. Yeah, not Isha and Dr. Phillips. Y'all think I'm playing. I haven't wanted to vote. Oh, yeah, guess what, y'all? Guess what? I found somebody. He done popped on the screen. There he is. What's up? What's up, player? Yeah. Hey, y'all, now he's back. Jimmy Hicks. Jimmy, I gave him, you know I'm always going to give a quick civics lesson and just talk about certain, you know, up-to-date and current events and talked about voting. Jimmy, I don't know you were in there or not. Jimmy, I got a copy of my sample ballot. I mean, Jimmy, do you know, I never did that before, Jimmy. In my entire life, I've never took now I am going to go practice. I'm going to practice, Jimmy. I'm going to do like you. I'm going to print it out and hit it and go redo it. And then I'm going to get facts, y'all. And let me tell you something. Boom, boom, room. Let's do that. Don't have me wasting all that time doing that. Let's do that together. That can be something we can do together, boom, boom, room. Okay? All right. So, Jimmy, where you want to start this show, boss? You might have got me this weekend.
Speaking of voting, before we get into sports, we're going to talk a lot of NFL, Major League Baseball, of course, NBA playoffs. We got all of that on deck. Plus, I share with you guys what I did this past weekend, what gyms I was in, and I was in Texas as well as Louisiana. I share all of that coming at the top of the hour. We're gonna dive right into the grassroots portion of the Chop Shop. But meanwhile, one of my favorite shows as you get older, it's funny as hell because as you transform, and a lot of times we morph and don't even realize it, is I really know my favorite show is, and at this age, 60 Minutes is my favorite show. I watched it, but didn't realize that, I can't go without watching 60 Minutes. At least, I scroll through it. I tape it every week. And this past Sunday, they had a...
What show? I'm sorry, Jim, I didn't hear you.
60 Minutes.
Oh, yes. About the wall? I know you're going to talk about the wall.
They had that was a topic as well.
Okay.
But the topic of that before the wall segment last night was about the young man who had did a bid in Florida, and he ended up coming out of jail and getting his law degree. It's another one. So we saw the movie.
Just Mercy.
Did the guy that did. Yeah,
Just Mercy.
That guy that sent the movie, he did some real time.
Yeah.
He just did a little bit,
okay.
But he came out and wrote a bill. He co-authored a bill that got passed in Florida to allow all ex-felons the right to vote once they have satisfied all of their sentence.
Okay.
So that lasted. This was only a couple of years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
That lasted. Mm-hmm. So then one of the Republican congressmen went right back and amended the bill, and it passed. They amended the bill to get clarification as to what completing your sentence means.
Mm-hmm.
So now it meant to pay all of your fines and restitutions.
Thus, LeBron James.
So fast forward through this thing. This thing. I mean, this is ongoing right now. Matter of fact, just a week ago, one of the appellate courts, within the past month and a half, one court struck down or went in favor of the Republicans. Then another appellate court, went in favor of the felons' rights to vote, because they're debating because now you're saying if a person has to pay, basically you're making it seem now, I got to go pay in order to vote.
Yeah.
So that's another constitutional infringement that you're doing.
Yeah.
This thing is really serious because it affected about a block of 20 plus thousand people votes.
And Jimmy, now
and
you
LeBron James, John Lennon, his name John Lennon?
John Legend.
Legend.
Yeah.
John Legend, and a couple of other fellows. Of course, I can't think of one of the billionaires name that hopped in. The white guy hopped in, and this was recent news.
Jim. Yeah.
They hopped in, and they have raised several millions of dollars.
Yes.
And they have started the process of paying the restitutions off for a lot of these people so that they can retain the right to vote. The deadline is October the 5th. That's why this was a topic was so timely. October the 5th is next Monday. Is the deadline for those people to be registered to vote. LeBron James is right in the middle of
Mike Bloomberg.
Bloomberg. I said the mogul. I couldn't think of his name.
No,
Bloomberg
right.
is the white guy that jumped that spirit. Because once you get one of those a white guy on the movements of such, it you know, I hate to say it, but it helps give us a different type of validity.
And Jimmy, it's some more white guys, but that's happened to be one of the richest white guys on the planet. But keep going.
And so this thing is important because this guy, he reminded me of and the interviewer of the 60 Minutes on that segment, she asked him, his first time he walked in there to cast his ballot recently in the Democratic primary. He cast his ballot. And he said he walked in there with the not just with his physical body, but he walked in that thing in that poll with all the ancestors before him. He walked in there with the spirit of everybody who got attacked by dogs. He walked in there with the spirit of everybody who marched across bridges, who fought during the civil rights era of the 60s. He walked in there with everybody's spirit in him and cast that ballot and broke down. And it reminded me a couple of years back when Rick Goffney, you guys know Mr. Godfrey, right? Rick Godfrey, who happened to be, ironically, you guys see me know him as The Voice. He does a lot of the announcing, the PA announcing at several events. He used to be the PA announcer of the Houston Cougars and a lot of other things. He went viral doing the national anthem at the Astros game, I think 2 seasons ago. But Rick Goffney was also one of my teachers at Cashmere High School. And we went to the poll together. And guys, believe it or not, that was my first time legally being allowed to vote in my life.
I remember.
It was 2016.
I remember.
And so I connected with that story, and these guys fight, and you're watching how we having to still fight. Yeah. Almost 60 years later. For something that's a law, that's a right.
I want to add something too, Jimmy. To all the people who say their votes don't matter, I just got a question, Jimmy. If voting don't matter, why do these powerful, powerful people try to keep you from doing it? Have that ever crossed your mind? And by the way, Cecil Dutton, Jimmy, wanted me to add that his brother authored the same bill in the state of Texas. His brother is State Representative Harold Dutton, and it passed some years back. And Jimmy, you remember you kept bringing up appellate courts. Now you see why I'm so concerned about the people that Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell, been saying this for the last 4 years since he's been, if you've been watching this show, he wants to control the judgeships. Because, Jimmy, every one of these things you're talking about, if you got the right judges in those situations, Jimmy, guess who the judge is going to, guess who is the judge is going to favor in? And to people who don't watch the show every day, might have missed it, this administration right here, with the help of Mitch McConnell, has put 25% of the 810 judges, appellate and district court judges around the country, they have appointed 25% of them. So if we don't flip that Congress and Mitch McConnell is still the majority leader in the Senate, they'll have 4 more years of this stuff. And guess what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? 25% more. So 50% of all of our judges are going to be handpicked by a guy who pays $750 on his taxes. So sometimes, y'all, we just got to quit being so heavenly minded that we ain't no earthly good. Sometimes we just got to think and quit reading, listen to the rhetoric all the time, and just, I hate to say Jimmy's word, and pay attention. And pay attention to several sources. Don't read one source. Go at least go get 5 or 6, so especially something important, Jimmy. And I know we got to go to a break, but I'm glad that I remember how excited you were. Never forget it. To vote. And you said, man, it's my first time. I said, wow. And it did. Now I understand. I really understand. You should find everything you can about that initiative that LeBron James is doing. And I guess we got an initiative here. But
we got
an
initiative here.
In Texas.
What Cecil's brother, what Representative Harold doesn't pass, that enabled me to vote in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
This is a direct hit.
Gotcha.
It's just that they went a step farther in Florida about the restitution part.
Because of that
restitution part out.
Because that congressman. Because of that congressman went back and okay.
Yes. And you know how crazy it is? It went deeper. They have no way to validate legally who paid what and when because of the different counties. There's no consolidated checks and balances unless you have your receipts. Dude, this stuff is all in paperwork and files. That means somebody got to go dig up every file, or you got to call every county that you were on paper with in Florida. Wow. And they had some attorneys that talked and they said some counties are willing to work with you. Okay. But if you get the wrong person on the phone who kind of know what you're asking for, and they could be a downright right-wingers, they're not going to be prone to help you as fast because that's one less vote that you'll help. This stuff is really serious. And thanks to Harold Dutton.
Yeah, thank you, Harold.
And see, I forgot that's right. There's a brother, and I'd heard it and knew it a while back. But we got to get him on the chop shop one day because my thing is, as we move, remember I mentioned earlier, the deadline to register to vote.
October what? 8th?
If you're 17 years and 10 months old, is October the 5th.
5th. Okay.
From what my understanding from watching the show last night, the minutes. And if that be the case, then we have only a few days to get some people registered to vote. So here's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to space that I don't really have because for this weekend's Super 16, our basketball event. But I'm going to think it out. I'm willing to open up the process during team registration, and then we can get somebody who's been deputized. That means you're legally been appointed as to have the right to register people to vote. If you know somebody who's deputized and they are willing to come out this weekend to the Super 16 and set up a table, we will allocate the space.
Jimmy, why can't we get in touch with the coach from Yates, Greg Wise assistant?
Who talking about? Which one? Barlow?
Eddie Barlow. Why can't we get? Cause he had a drive right there in Third Ward, and I guess
he had a drive. I mean, but normally people like to do their drives in their jurisdiction.
But I'm just saying he can get us in contact with somebody that would.
Well, remember, Hatter, I did 2 of them already at the season opener.
Yeah,
I did 2 drives.
Well, let's go back to that same person.
And we did, and the last one we did was in 2019 at the Campbell Center. That person, just like we on the Chop Shop, that person contacted us. We threw it out the same way.
Right.
So that means now I'm just seeing how the reach of the Chop Shop, because everybody's related and know everybody. Shout out to Corey McCall. I see you out there.
No, Corey. Let me get mad at Corey. Corey, let me tell y'all some boom boom room about Corey. Corey owns a liquor store called Bottles. Nice liquor store near downtown. He had a tasting, like a pop-up tasting this weekend. And Jimmy, none of us knew about it. Really? I had to see it. Oh my, Jimmy had wines and all kind of stuff. He had a tent outside. Yes, and did not tell the chop shop so we can have the place. I mean, that's on him. But Corey,
You know what? You know what?
Huh?
Go, you know what? Go to a break right now so we can cuss. So we can cuss while the commercial's running. I got
There is a massive disinformation, misinformation campaign that's aimed towards that particular demographic. Another thing I think that Republicans have been very successful at is they understand this is not a matter of conversion when it comes to Black voters, and in particular young Black voters. And a lot of people are so woke that they're asleep, okay? A lot of people are so woke that they're ingesting all of this propaganda, this anti-democratic propaganda, and it defies facts. And it defies reality. And so this is why I constantly talk about the disinformation and misinformation campaigns as part of the voter suppression campaign against Black voters. It's not just what they're doing at the ballot box. It's not just what they're doing in terms of purging and in terms of the laws. It's what they do in terms of manipulation and convincing Black voters that there is no difference between the white nationalist party and the Democratic Party, which does have its issues. I'm not saying that the Democratic Party is perfect, but they are miles apart in terms of what they propose. 400 bills that have passed the House that are collecting dust on Mitch McConnell's desk shows the complete difference between a Democratic ran country and a Republican Trump white nationalist ran country. But people are just not paying attention, and where they're getting their information from, which is all curated by Twitter algorithms and social media algorithms, are telling them a story that's not accurate.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks. I apologize for the cursing, but it had so much impact. I thought it was there's a guy from Tomball, Texas, that's about to be in the finals, and we're going to talk about that later. But Jimmy, let's get these picks out the way, because I failed you to whoop my brains out this week. I just felt because it was one.
I thought I probably had lost one.
No, because I don't keep up with it. See, you're a numbers dude in your head. I'm a word guy. So let's just start. Let's go. Get your thing out.
Let's go. And what we're doing right now, guys, if you're a first time viewer, on Thursday, every Thursday we make our NFL picks of the games going into the weekend, and we'll take the point spread or give the point spread, and we rotate picks throughout the afternoon. So Monday, now it's time to recap and see who won. This is the week number 3, and we had won week 1. I came back with a Hail Mary in week 2 and won on week 2 I threw a Doug Flutie on him, y'all, and got him last week. And then now let's see what happened. I know the first game, of course, was Jacksonville hosted Miami. And Jacksonville hosted Miami, and of course Miami won 31-13 in that contest. You had Miami, right?
Yes, sir.
And 3 punts. So you won that one.
Yes, sir.
Next up was Houston and Pittsburgh. You had Pittsburgh and gave me 4 punts.
Yes, and I won again.
Next up was Tennessee at Minnesota. I had Tennessee and 2.5. Tennessee won 31-30. So give me that one.
Man, I'm really mad about that one.
Next up, Cincinnati at Philadelphia.
Wow.
I had Cincinnati in 5.5. And that game ended in tie. So that means I won that one. Next up, Chicago at Atlanta.
You had Atlanta.
Dirty Birds gave up 3.5, and I was willing to do so with the Dirty Birds, and they squandered another double-digit lead to lose 30-26 against Chicago.
So I won that one?
You won that one. Washington at Cleveland on yesterday. Washington loses 20-34. I had Washington and 7, and looks like
I won that
Cleveland
too.
Covered that spread.
I won that one too.
Next up is Las Vegas at New England. I had tight britches. That's what we call affectionately called Cam Newton, the quarterback, from his experience of wearing those tight outfits. We just call him tight britches. And he, New England covered 36-20, put Las Vegas in their place. So I won that.
So I won that? Or you
no,
won
I
that?
won that. Okay. I had New England. I gave you the point.
Hey, from now on, man, let's get this right. You know you don't like tight britches. I like tight britches. I hate to bet against my own team. But I'm going to let you have that. I don't like that.
Next up was the Rams at Buffalo.
Oh, my goodness.
You took the Rams and gave me Buffalo.
Yep.
You took the Rams in 2.5.
Yeah.
Buffalo won by 3.
Ow, I hated that one.
Let go my ego on that one. Next up, the San Francisco at the Giants.
Well, I know I won that one. You don't even have to go through that.
No. Hold tight. The score was 36-9. I had San Francisco and gave you 4.5.
No, Jimmy, I got San Francisco.
No. I got San Francisco covered on my thing.
No, Jimmy, I got it too.
Heather, no. Let me tell you how I know for sure. Because remember, I took the New England game. They went in order. Yeah. You took Jared Goff. That was my pick. Yeah. I told you I wasn't taking the New York team again after they guys hit me. I took that game. I took Frisco.
How did I? Boy, just throw that one out.
I'm gonna take you back. Remember, I'm gonna tell you what I said. I said, dang, Barkley done got hurt for the Giants, and the Niners got about 4 guys hurt, and then somebody, I know what it was. Hey. Adam Coleman helped me out. He said, well, you know what? Them 4 guys that's hurt for the Niners is still better than the Giants. I said, well, I'm taking.
You know what though? I need Rod Wells. What? Hold up. Let me look on Lori. What? Jimmy had okay. I trust Lori. Jimmy has
Lori,
okay.
There you go. Lori's the accountant.
Okay,
He's
that's all right. Okay. She'll cheat for you now. She'll cheat for you, but I let her go this time. Come on.
Well, that's because she's been cheating for you, Helen. She gotta help me.
Come on,
next
man.
Up, Jets at the Colts. And of course, the Colts beat the stuffings out the Jets 36-7. And I had the Jets in 10.5. And I needed 20. I needed 30.5.
So that's mine. That's mine. Okay.
Next up is Carolina at the Chargers.
Okay.
And Carolina won that 21-16. I had Carolina and 6.5. I win that one.
What?
Yes, you took the Chargers. You gave me Carolina.
And 6.5.
And 6.5.
See, I got to watch you, man.
Yeah, you did that.
All right.
You did that.
Come on, Cletus.
Next, Tampa Bay at Denver, right? Tampa Bay won 28-10. I had Denver in 6. You covered on that easily.
Okay. All right.
Next up, Detroit in Arizona.
Okay.
The Detroit Lions finally get into the win column.
And I had Detroit.
20-23 over Arizona. And I knew I should have took the Lions because they took a stance early on. And I fell for that Kool-Aid and drunk Arizona's Kool-Aid. And they lose that.
Thank you, sir.
Next up, Dallas and Seattle. Of course, Seattle wins the game 38-31. I had the Cowboys and 4.5. Seattle covers that game.
It wasn't enough.
Green Bay at New Orleans. Green Bay beats New Orleans 37-30, and I had Green Bay and 3. So now the final tally.
Hold up, Jimmy. Who won that? Who won that last one?
I won the Green Bay game.
Okay. All right. Final tally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for me.
I mean, it's 8-7.
8. So
once again, we will need Monday Night Football to determine.
Oh, I got 8. I got 8-7.
8-7.
Okay.
We need Monday Night Football once again. God, dog, man.
Dude, but you know what? Technically, you know what I love about this? Technically, I'm whooping you. I'm shedding you out.
No,
yeah. Technically, No,
If this is a
Jimmy.
casino, you took the spread or you gave the spread.
No.
Yeah,
I
we ain't
know.
talking about
But when we tally up every week we tally up on Monday, I'm the winner. And then you have to hit a Hail Mary. I give you so it's okay. So come on tonight, Mr. Hail Mary. Come
Who
on.
picking this Monday Night Football?
Huh? It's on. You know who playing tonight.
I said, who picking? Who's picking?
You behind, I let you pick. No,
Okay.
I let you pick last week. Heck no.
Okay. Well, give me what you got. You gonna take Baltimore? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what the.
3.5.
It's still 3.5. I just want to make sure it ain't changed. Remember, want to make sure the line ain't changed. It's
Okay.
still 3.5. Either you gonna take Baltimore and give me 3.5, or you gonna take Kansas City and take it.
Dude, I can't go against my homeboy. I got to take Kansas City.
Okay.
And I'm going to take them 3 points you give me. I want all of them 3.5 points. I can't go
No,
against
you
my
just say you wanted 3.
3.5. 3.5 opening line over here. That what it say over here. Right.
So,
Hold on. Thank you, Rod Well. Rod Well said, see, that's why I love Rod Well. He said I had the Vikings
No.
in 2.5. Yeah, but they won. Hold up. Let's look at that Vikings Tennessee,
They
Jimmy.
won by 3, man.
Huh? They won by 3? Make sure, Jimmy. 'Cause, I know you don't like to cheat.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. Thank you, Rod. Well.
I looked at the
You looked at the wrong thing. That's all good.
I look at the opening line instead of the.
You looked at the wrong thing. Hey, Rod Wells, I love Rod Wells, boy. Rod Wells, where's my Yates Lions hat? I need my Yates Lions hat now. I'm gonna wear my Yates Lions hat on the show because of Rod Wells. So guess what, y'all? It's 9-6. Wait a minute. 8-6. 8-6. Right? 8-6. Yeah. 8-6. No. 9-6. Jimmy, you can't win. Hey, Tiffany, I love Rod Wells. I love you, Rod Wells. Y'all look at it. Look at it.
Who wants to be a part of the fastest growing media companies in the country? You gonna be a part of it. We got a job for you, man. We want you to be a part of the Viceroy team right here on the campus of Jackson State University. I need you. Barstools, baby. We're employing people. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Chop Shop and Midday Sports Happy Hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. Grooving right along. What's in your cup right now? Boy, I just got bamboozled.
Rod Wells is my hero.
NFL picks. I felt like the character that Willie D talked about in the verse that he rapped on the hit song Mind Playing Tricks on. When he say he thought it was cane, but it was gold medal flower.
Wow.
Man, but as we move on, of course, we got NBA basketball coming up. And of course, at the top of the hour, we're going to get into some grassroots topics we got in our mailbag. Shout out, thanks so much, man, Rod Wells, Lori Dotson, for keeping everything on kosher on the picks, man. That's really, really cool. Thanks a bunch for everybody. And of course, we right back on it on Thursday. And of course, in case you want to know, we still have our string of guests this week. John Lucas is to be on Tuesday. Carlos Hurt will be on Wednesday on the back nine. And of course, on Thursday, we have Jeffrey Day is going to join us on Thursday.
That's my man.
And he's one of the young guys that's kind of like it's been impressive with his writing and his coverage of the area over the past couple of years with Prep Hoops and Ball So Hard. That's the name of his organization. And he will be on Thursday. So meanwhile, Major League Baseball, the playoffs wrapped up. The regular season wrapped up on yesterday, and the playoffs are set as follows. In the American League, the Devil Rays, Tampa Bay Devil Rays will take on the Blue Jays, right? That will start Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Oakland A's versus the White Sox will Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Now, the Astros will play the Twins. The Minnesota Twins will host the Astros on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. That game will be televised, I think, on the ABC network. And the fourth game will be the Cleveland Indians versus the Yankees Tuesday at 6 o'clock. These are 4 very, very compatible series, guys. And of course, once again, Astros and Twins. Hatter adopted the Minnesota Twins. Yvette Machete texted me this morning and said, please tell me Hatter ain't rooting for the Twins still. I said, you can have Hatter and rooting for your Twins because it will basically guarantee you an L. It's the jinx. The jinx will be upon them. Every one of them teams that Hatter touched, something happened along the way, and they fall by the wayside when it comes to
Jimmy. That is very oxymoronic that you're saying right now. You know why? Because people see me winning every week and every week and every week. They know if I said it's so. So I think that's a little bit. I don't know. Hey.
That's the regular season. How there's a difference between like they got playoff run though.
My name ain't James Harden. My name's Robert Hatter. I play well in the playoffs. And hold up, I get to the finals. I'm more like LeBron. I'm more like LeBron James. Hey, 10 finals appearances, huh?
Well said from the Houston Clipper.
Hold on now. You remember I was a LA Rocket. I said LeBron James. I'm not cheering for the Lakers. I'm cheering for LeBron James. I got some. Hey, whenever we get to the NBA, I got some unique takes about the NBA. I got some.
Hold on. Let me get the National League parents. National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers will host the Milwaukee Brewers. That will start on Wednesday. It's a 9 p.m. first pitch. The Cubs and the Marlins will also play Wednesday at 1 p.m. The Padres and the Cardinals, which is a very good evenly matched series, that will take place at 4 p.m. And the divisional series, of course, we're going to get into that stuff on tomorrow. But this American League, man, dude what? The Cleveland Indians and the Yankees getting on that mound. Getting on that diamond together. This thing is all of the smellings of an upset.
Who's the Shane Bieber guy?
One of the hottest pitchers in the game.
What?
He ain't lost but one game all year, Hal.
Well, he ain't played enough games all year.
Yeah, come on, every pitcher pitched at least 10 games in this abbreviated season, but he ain't lost but one.
But he got to go get the Cole, bro. He got to go get Garrett Cole, baby.
Where they playing at, Hal?
It don't matter where they playing. At Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how it go. There's no back and forward now.
You just stay there?
You stay there.
Wow.
Stay there. And that's the thing that gets the Rockets, the Astros. It really don't matter with the Astros because you can't win at home any doggone way. So you might as well go and play in Minnesota, and take care of business up there. But that's the baseball roundup for today. Now, drum roll, Adam. Let's get on top of it because over the weekend there were a few games that we didn't get the cap on. But what's happened, of course, all you guys know, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat have both advanced to the NBA Finals. That will start on Wednesday evening in Orlando in the bubble. And I mentioned LeBron James earlier when I talked about the voting and his efforts to help so many of those people vote. You think about it, he happens ironically. Think about all these different storylines. This series have The writers, the journalists nationwide, worldwide, have no problem sparking, trying to create some sparks with this series. But I know one storyline that will not probably be mentioned because it's buried at the back of the aisle, the back of the bundle of topics that you're probably going to read. And I'll share that with you in just a second. But LeBron James, Miami Heat. You have Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's one. That means we have Greater Houston area has a player on each team competing in the NBA Finals and will play significant amount of minutes. Jimmy Butler for the Miami Heat, Alex Caruso, who's from College Station. And I know College Station guys right there on the borderline, tipped on, but for years, and that's why this is my thing on it. We counted that area in Greater Houston long before Alex Caruso. We counted that area way back long before J. Michael Reese came out of Bryan High School. We counted that area before, back in the days when Daryl Mason was at Bryan, and we adopted it because nobody gave that area coverage. And so we covered them because those schools, when they went to the playoffs back then, they played along in the same region. Well, it flipped and flopped. Some years they did, some years they didn't. Some of the schools in that area played in the same region, not all of them. Some of them went to region, I think, 2. But anyway, we adopted and talked about them, and that's kind of like how. So we know that they're a little bit farther. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away from Houston, from the tip of Houston. But
can I add something about Jimmy Butler, Jimmy? Really is an incredible story on Jimmy Butler to me. I was just thinking about he has literally changed his entire brand. He goes from difficult, can't get along, to what a great leader. In 6 months. Jimmy, 6 months.
Winning does that.
But how people viewed him around the league, just the people that I know, he was a malcontent, couldn't get along with nobody. But you put him with, y'all check this out. You put him with a good organization, a good structure, and it's like, oh my God. He is helping the young players out. He is a centerpiece of the organization. It's amazing what stability would do, ladies and gentlemen. Pat Riley, let me tell y'all something, is a no-nonsense individual. I got a chance to find out that firsthand, hanging in Miami for about 1.5 years with Gary Payton and how he runs that team. And check, Miami Heat is not for everybody. I repeat, the Miami Heat is not for every team. And Jimmy, think about this, y'all. I'm going to give y'all something to chew on. This is the first finals matchup between two teams who missed the playoffs the previous year. Jimmy, and Miami is the lowest seed to reach the NBA Finals since 1984. Lakers have one of the best players, the best leader as a player in the league. And I can say Pat Riley and Spoelstra has got to be one of the best front office duos in the league. And in that bubble, y'all, I found out firsthand it's about leadership. You got to have a player. Jimmy, I'm going to take a break. You got to have a player that's going to take the lead, and you have to have a coaching staff and leadership that'll take the lead. But Jimmy, I'm going to take a quick break. You just finished.
Come back and we'll talk more NBA playoffs.
No, Jimmy, no, you talk. No, you stay. You got no break. You just stay. I got to do something like that.
Now, of course, on the game last night, guys, of course, we're talking about the Jimmy Butler and some of the storylines. One of the storylines you're going to hear is about how many of the players and administrators and coaches that attended Kentucky. You know, Frank Vogel went to Kentucky. You know, Pat Riley played at Kentucky. Pat Riley got the connection, coached at the Lakers. So you got LeBron played for Miami. You have once again, I mentioned earlier one of these storylines that you probably won't hear, but it could hear because of the fact that we've seen Dwight Howard go from DNP to playing 30 plus minutes in this series. Remember, last series, the Lakers made adjustments and made a decision to go and not use a lot of the big men. You remember? So we saw that happen. That means that coach exhibited an ability to change and modify his game plan and strategy. Well, one guy on this Laker team that could benefit based on the fact that if you watched him, he was plugged in all the while having DNPs, right? While having DNPs. And of course, that person would be none other than what's my young fella name that played in Miami? What's my young fella name? DNP.
Oh, Kendrick Nunn.
No, that plays with the Lakers now. That plays for Miami. That came. Dion Waiters.
What's the boy name?
Here's what I'm saying. Dion Waiters. Dion Waiters has been nothing but a positive from what you can see. I don't know about the locker room, but nothing but a positive injection to those guys, rooting them on. Remember, people wonder why he's in street clothes.
Waiters, Jimmy. Waiters.
Dion Waiters.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Dion Waiters.
Yeah.
Dion Waiters played for Miami. Let me tell you something. If there's one player on this Laker team that you got to suit him up and put let J.R. Smith sit this one out. Let him sit this one out. They can reverse him. Dion Waiters need to be in uniform and need to be on standby in case that one moment comes and he needs to call him and he needs that energy. He will be that guy that is waiting to get that call because know why? He messed up. He sit there and took those gummy bears, those funny gummies on the airplane. He was a nothing less than a prodigal child while at Miami with the Heat. He stayed in trouble. He basically started when he claimed this is my team after making a bucket. Even though I think Dwayne Wade was back there doing his swan song, this is my team. They got his ass up out of there.
And Jimmy, then he got on the plane and had that weed, that gummy bears, and then he killed himself on the plane.
That's what I just said. He took the funny gummies.
Yeah.
The funny gummies.
Yeah.
And he's been in trouble with it, but you can't not let this guy suit up. I understand it. I ain't talking about playing. You can't let him not suit up, man. You can't keep that guy in street clothes and miss the opportunity.
No, he hurt something, Jimmy. He hurt. He was hurt. He hurt something.
Well, sure. How did he get hurt? He ain't played.
I mean, in practice or something, he hurt something. He hurt, yeah. When he put on street clothes, that means you hurt. Yeah, he hurt something.
When you guys, boom, boom, room, y'all did get up and find out if he actually.
And it might have been a fake hurt, but here's something for you I want y'all to share. I'm going to hit y'all with. September 27th, that's the day, right? Okay? September 27th. It was the last year the Lakers, they showed up for media day. Last year, Jimmy. Not this year. Last year. A year ago today. LeBron's second year with the Lakers. No more injuries. Ready to go. He got Anthony Davis on his team. 1 full year later, September the 27th this year, they find themselves with an opponent in the NBA Finals, the Miami Heat. And the reason I mentioned it's a whole lot of stuff going on, Jimmy. This is going to be the longest NBA season on record. It literally took the Lakers 1 year to show up and get the pictures and palm the ball. If you saw them the other night, having fun with the team pictures. But, Jimmy, it's been a year like no other. Let's give the NBA credit. This is their 74th year. Jimmy, and a lot of people didn't think they would be able to crown a champion this year as they are getting ready now for their 75th anniversary, which is going to be a special year where whenever that happens, they're going to get it done and going to finish the season. But Jimmy, I remember when Pat Riley flew to Vegas 2 years ago. when he sat down with LeBron James and his crew to try to persuade LeBron James to come back to Miami. You know, this was before he signed with the Lakers, right? He got a chance to, got a chance to see him face to face, and they're gonna get a chance to see him face to face. But let me tell you something. When LeBron decided not to go back to Miami, Pat Riley was mad, Jimmy. When he joined the jump, he sent Pat back to Miami, and Pat Riley waited at the hotel room, Jimmy, and LeBron never called him no more. And then the Heat got this thing turned around. They got Jimmy Butler, they got Iguodala, they found Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn. Now they're going to the finals. But Jimmy, yes, what you got to remember, Jimmy, I'll never forget this. Riley's quote when LeBron left after the Heat lost their 2014 finals. He said, "This is hard stuff, and you got to stay together if you got guts, and you don't find the first door and run out of it." That was Pat Riley. I don't know if you remember that. He didn't say it LeBron James, but LeBron James fired back and said, after he left Miami, he quoted, "I'm not going to name any names, but people can't do that. But there are some people that I trusted and built a relationship in those 4 years who told me I was making the biggest mistake of my career when I left and went back to Cleveland, and I won a championship." So it's Jimmy. It's some history here now. It's some, and y'all got to realize, Jimmy, I got to tell them about Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy. Jimmy, this Eric Spoelstra, y'all check this out. I got a little timeline on him. In 1995, y'all check this out now. Only in America. He was the Heat video coordinator. In 1997, he was assistant coach. In 1999, Jimmy, Eric Spoelstra was what? Advanced scout. In 2001, y'all keep up with me now, director of scouting. In 2008, he became the head coach. In 2012, NBA champion coach. In 2013, all-star head coach. In 2013, back-to-back champion. In 2020, fifth NBA Finals as a head coach. Let me tell y'all something, man. That dude there did it the hard way. And I ain't gonna lie, Jimmy, I didn't respect him at first. I don't know about you. I didn't respect this at first. I thought Pat Riley just found another guy and just put him in there. But guess what? He took care of his business. He took care of his business. So what else you got?
I mean, indeed. Now, of course, and speaking of the game itself, LeBron James, 38 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. I mean, in watching, in the words of what's his name on there with Skip Bayless? What's his co-host name? Shannon Sharp. That was a virtuoso in his word. I mean, LeBron in that fourth quarter, he went to work. I was watching that game at the sports bar, and I'm talking about he went to work. You know, some guys can go to work, and even if you really don't really care for LeBron James, you watch that game, you had to be like, you know what, I really don't care for him, but man, that dude put in work. Dude, he put in work. When you saw him, he was playing big boy basketball and getting it in. And everybody, you know what they did? When you see that moment I looked at, when you see a guy that is in a zone, you keep feeding him and give him space that he needs to operate. That means give it to him and get the hell out the way. Prepare for a miss maybe and get a long shot, long rebound. But man, he was getting it in.
Jimmy.
And one thing about it, I mentioned, Adam, Dwight Howard has just earned himself another year or two in the league. Even though I think he had another year or two in the league anyway. But remember, he was on the end of that bench. Remember, he was on the end of the bench. This Laker team Remember, DeMarcus Cousins is sitting out, guys. This team ain't going nowhere. DeMarcus Cousins is gonna be good enough for one very productive year. Hopefully, guess what? Everybody got to be injury free. This team is gonna be good next year. Avery Bradley is at home. He's the missing piece. Rondo has proven that he has another year left. Now it depends on if Rondo or Dwight Howard gonna take these league minimums that they taking. That's gonna be the key. Because there'll be somebody.
I got
like
a couple
Milwaukee,
things for you though.
Milwaukee will take a Rondo.
Your young
Milwaukee
fella,
will take a Rondo.
Forever Young Films said something. He says a strain growing. I thought it was a growing. I just didn't want to give the wrong information. The guy got a strain growing.
Yeah, the growing happened with the Rocket series.
Yeah.
And he was expected, he was day-to-day for the beginning of this Denver series. Well, it's been more than day-to-day. Hell, it's been 5 games in. 4-1. That was the 5 games in. So I'm wondering now, then you're talking about another 3 days on top of that. You don't play the Wednesday. I'm curious to see what are they going to do. They meaning the Lakers. It's one of those things like I always didn't understand.
Ain't no minutes for him. Them guys playing.
No. I didn't say. I'm not talking about playing him. That's a whole different thing. Suiting him up. That means you got to sit J.R. Smith ass down. Let him go and put him in uniform. Put him in street clothes. J.R. Smith, Dayon has been giving him energy, man. He's smiling during the timeouts. He got his piece on his neck. He flossing. But I like that. That's why the thing about it. He wasn't sitting there like.
He know he on camera. Hey, he know he on camera. He know you seeing it. But speaking of DeMarcus Cousins, Jimmy, I got up early. When I got up early this morning, just so happened my TV was on Showtime, and he got a special out called Resurgence. I think if y'all got Showtime, go check it out. You might can get it on demand. Jimmy, in the beginning of the show, he had on Nike, and by the end of the show, he got his Puma deal, and he was showing everything that he went through with the injury and the things that happened and why he chose the Golden State Warriors when he chose them. And then I stopped watching it, but it's just funny you spoke his name, and he got a Showtime special out. DeMarcus Cousins has. So I thought I'd share.
I'm gonna give you another name that's gonna be that they're gonna connect. And I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Who?
This guy has just, I use the word played himself into a spot on the coaching, on the bench, automatically next season. Udonis Haslem. You watch Udonis Haslem with that Miami Heat in that game that they lost in what it was, game 5.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him during that timeout?
Mm-hmm.
And they end up losing the game, right? And then he come back and he's like, you can see him talking to those guys. It was one timeout. I saw the piece of the game. One timeout, Udonis Haslem got the hell out the way. Haslem was doing the talking to the team.
Yeah,
and he was
letting them have it too.
He was getting. That's what you could see. One thing about it, I didn't realize this dude been with that same team. 17 years? You guys helping me out.
Man, that man came out the same time Andre Johnson came to they went to the same high school. That man, that been there a long time.
Say, man, much respect for Haslem, man. Much respect for him. Yeah. Now, in regard to that series, guess what? We know Murray was hurt. You could see he was wobbled. You could see that. And you know what? And it's gutsy that he tried to play through that injury. And even if he had been fully 100%, guess what? I mean, that's the Lakers. The Lakers were the better team. And I like the way Denver went out. They went out they went out swinging. They tried. But and LeBron did what he needed to do to take over that game. Caruso came on around and gave them on a good note. He finished with a good note for them. Kuzma finished on a good note for them. Rondo has been consistent, but I was just surprised, Hatter. Did you see Rondo's minutes in that game?
No.
Check out Rondo's minutes in game 5.
I didn't pay attention to him. You the minutes guy. I don't look at the minutes that much.
Rondo, believe it or not, guys, Rondo only played 13 minutes. That's like 3 minutes a quarter.
Hit another big shot.
I'm just saying.
Why is he hitting all these big shots now?
They didn't need him to play a whole lot because they had other guys that were cooking. Danny Green came on around. He played 28 minutes. That was some of Rondo's minutes right there. Danny Green, he had 11 points. He was 2 for 4 from three-point land. Caldwell Pope didn't score, but this is one of the things about why stats can be, sometimes it can often be deceiving and misconstruing. Caldwell Pope, I watched him on the defensive side of the ball. And Caldwell Pope be out there defending, man.
Yes. You know, I call him heavy trash.
You're going to see Caldwell Pope this series coming up against Miami because he's gonna have a lot of little young guys chase around them, young legs, I'll call it, to chase out there on that perimeter. And this is what you're going to see. He's going to be called to show and prove. Danny Green, he used to be known as a defensive guy. I think he's leveled off. I know he's leveled off in that category. They use Caruso to try to supplement for what they need out of Danny Green, what he used to provide. Avery Bradley was that guy that's known as a defensive stopper, was the defensive perimeter stopper for the Lakers, but he's not there. So you can't miss between never had. They didn't never have Avery Bradley during this bubble or quest. Now, the thing about it, what we do know, it become crunch time. LeBron James just showed how tall is Jamal Murray, Hal?
6'4".
How tall is Murray?
6'4".
6'4". So that's about the average height of everybody in the backcourt for the Miami Heat, right? So LeBron James just showed you, if somebody get the cooking, he told his coach, I got him.
But Jimmy, he can't do it for a whole game. He just can do it
for
I'm talking about
crunch time.
Right.
Crunch time. Yeah. And if it's crunch time, I got him. And guess what? Crunch time for any period of the game, meaning let me stop the bleeding. Let me cool him off. Let me dash a bucket of water on his butt.
Let me tell y'all something, man. I mean, we could talk about, I love how we bringing up these support players. And LeBron needs these support players to win. But when somebody else is when we talk about the Houston Rockets, we don't talk about the support players as much. So in this game, man, I've just learned you got to have. That's why, Jimmy, you always say the bench. Them three guys coming off the bench got to be consistently doing something. I don't care who they are. They got to consistently be moving the needles. And, of course, Avery Bradley gets a ring. Of course he does. Yeah, Barry McDonald asked the question, do Avery get a job? Of course he get a ring. And guess what?
They're going to give Avery a ring.
And they're going to vote him in his share.
His kid has a pre-existing medical condition, guys.
Yes.
So Avery Bradley didn't abandon them.
No.
He didn't jump ship on the Lakers. He made a family decision that they all was left to make on. And he weighed on it.
Yeah, he gets a ring.
And understand now.
The players love him. Guess who vote? The players vote. And the players the players vote, and the players gonna vote him in.
And you mentioned the Rockets back in '94. Remember, their bench, when you're winning, that's when people pay. That's why I tell people all the time, only people that discounts winning is the ones, a winner is a loser. The guy who loses will discount the effects and the advantages that winning yields. For example, in this series, as you win, people have to pay attention to things that they normally necessarily wouldn't have paid attention to. Like you're going to notice, if you hadn't watched Miami Heat, let's say if you was a pro Western Conference in this series, Miami wasn't just attractive to you, you're going to watch Tyler Hero now. You're going to watch Bam if you never paid attention to Bam Adebayo now. You're going to watch him now. You're going to watch Goran Dragic now. You're going to watch these guys. You're going to pay attention to a guy like Caruso, and you're going to be magnifying and breaking them down every step of the way. You're going to, just like with those Rockets. A lot of people they knew, of course, but Mario Elie wasn't the household national name until his moment presented itself in that world championship. Sam Cassell was not the starter on the team. Kenny Smith was the starter. For those of you guys that may be a little bit young, Sam Cassell took so much pressure off Kenny Smith. So much pressure off Kenny. Sam thrust himself and actually did it too damn good because he played so damn good, and they put him in the package deal and traded his ass to Phoenix for Barkley in a 7-8 player deal. So also, who else? Matt Bullock. We remember Matt Bullock. The Rockets Houston loved Matt Bullock. He was the white guy on the team that would make the open shot, that would stretch the defenses, that still has a job, a lifetime job with the program as an announcer during the TV broadcast. I mean, he's part of the broadcast crew. Who else was on that? Who else came off that bench? Scotty Brooks. Scotty Brooks became so loved with his play off the bench that guess what? Scotty Brooks ended up parlaying that into a lifetime, into another career after basketball, after playing as a coach. He coached with a couple of teams in the league. And those were your core guys. This is what happens, what winning does. So if you take that down to the amateur level, and that's why I tell people, how you asked me a long time ago, you and your son walked up to me when he was in the 9th grade. What I got to do to get on the front cover of that magazine? You a guard. Win. See me later. Go win. Big guys ain't got to win as much as the guards do. Because the guards bring the ball down. They dictate which side of the floor the play run on and all that. How do I know that? You know that in basketball. You know that. You played. Hell, if me and you boys and coach say run UCLA, you know what side to start the play on if you want me to get the shot. That's what boys do. You know that. And know they call it, man, you freezing me out, man. You gonna run the play the other side. No, man, that's this dude. He gonna run the play for his dude. That's what happens. And anyway, guys, we can talk hoops all day. That's a good one.
But Jeremy, that's a good transition into high school sport. You just mentioned that.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the quick break and come on now. Okay. It's time to tell y'all what happened this past weekend. And guys, make sure you share the show right now. If you would, share the show with your timelines, with your friends. If you're on YouTube right now, give us a thumbs up. I see the YouTube community is growing and growing every week. Thank you, guys. I see you, Rick Timms, Kim Jackson. Yeah. I'm going to answer your question that you asked a while ago. When we come back, we're going to talk grassroots and a lot more on the Chop Shop.
Chop Shop. We'll be back in a minute.
Shut up and dribble. That is what LeBron James was told. It's what Jason Tatum was told. It's what Chris Paul and Jaylen Brown and Jimmy Butler were told, along with the entire NBA. Multi-millionaire athletes, buffered by a multi-billion-dollar league, dismissed as menial malcontents. In spite of their philanthropy, their community service, their tireless efforts, still, they were told to shut up. Thank God they didn't listen. Because in the aftermath of today's ruling, where only one officer, not three, was indicted by a grand jury on 3 counts of wanton endangerment, not murder, of Breonna Taylor, we don't need to wonder any longer why the NBA community has been joined by the likes of numerous NFL players like Jamal Adams, a tennis star like Naomi Osaka, a NASCAR star like Bubba Wallace, or even millions of Americans. Most folks already know. But what about the rest? Is it really necessary to remind everyone that Miss Taylor was a 26-year-old EMT worker? That the search warrant to her home wasn't for her, but for an ex-boyfriend who wasn't even there? Is it necessary to remind everyone that the charges handed down today were not with respect to the 6 bullets that actually struck and killed Breonna Taylor, but with respect to bullets that hit windows and walls and sheer air? Is that enough evidence to validate the cries that Black lives matter? Do we get it now? Because when LeBron and CP3 and Jaylen Brown and Malcolm Brogdon and all these NBA stars work diligently to bring attention to the plight of African Americans in this country, these are the kind of things they were actually talking about. A police warrant. But there's no footage, no videos. 194 days went by before any officers were charged. And when only one is charged, it's essentially for recklessness, having absolutely positively nothing to do with Breonna Taylor's death. So if you happen to watch the game tonight and you witness tears trickling down the face of one of these NBA players, take a moment to understand the tears they shed, the pain in their eyes, are not just for themselves. It's for the lives everyone sees, but don't appear to care too much about. Assuming you ever mattered at all.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. This will be a great time. If you're on Facebook and you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's a great time to go over and just subscribe. And I'm seeing y'all. I'm watching y'all. I'm telling you, it's going to be something special. When we hit that 1,000 mark, it's gonna be something real special. So get over there, especially if you're on YouTube and you just hadn't had a chance. I mean, on Facebook and hadn't had a chance to go over there. It don't take Jimmy but a couple of seconds. Get over there, key up Chop Shop, hit subscribe, and you're out of there. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you like and share the page so other people can see it. But Jimmy, what's going on in high school basketball? I'm going to tell you, it's a quiet weekend for me. I'm glad you got something because it was quiet to me. Because I get my information mostly from you. And you wasn't saying nothing on Twitter. I didn't see nothing on Twitter. So I don't know what the hell happened. So guess what? Tell me what's happening in high school grassroots basketball right here.
Man, I'm going to start out by breaking some news.
Okay.
To you guys that I did not put in the VIP news this morning on our website. rcssports.com is the website. You guys can go and get it. It has been updated. It's updated 5-6 days a week. And that is pretty much where you go to get your daily fix on basketball news or news about the basketball community in the Greater Houston area. One of the area's top players has reportedly checked out of his high school this morning. And this kid is ranked right now. I'm looking on RCS Sports. I know he's ranked in the top 10. And I have it right here, Hatter. He's ranked number 8 in the ranking. On rcssports.com, he's number 8 among the class of 2021. That means a 12th grade. And you see what it is, Hatter?
No, I didn't look, Jimmy. I'm waiting on you. And his name, of course, is Javon Jackson, Summer Creek High School. Wait a minute.
And they tell me that he is transferring to C.E. King High School, which is approximately 3 miles away. And help you connect dots. His younger brother, attends C.E. King High School. Remember, the schools are 3 miles apart. Jackson, from what I understand, is the coach at C.E. King High School who just got the job 3 months ago. Guess who that coach is?
Not the dad.
His name is Julius Jackson. He's the father of Javon Jackson.
Okay.
So this young man
go play for his dad.
Wants to go to school. Well, first of all, he want to go to school with his little brother and share the high school experience with his little brother.
Cool.
And at the same time, nobody can fault any young man that would want to go and play for his father. However, I've seen it happen before when I first got into the business. One time, I've seen a high school coach go out of his way to make a player ineligible from suiting up for his dad. And that was back in 2003. 2003, I'm sorry. Nick Wise was a starting point guard at Cinco Ranch High School as a 9th grader. He transferred, it had just built Hightower. Hightower was hot. It was about a year and 2 old. Remember, they went to state in 2002, went back again in 2003 without Nick Wise. They had Landon Smith, Michael Umay, and those guys. The district in Katy ISD, Cinco Ranch High School coach, rest his soul, he's passed away by now. They ruled that this kid was transferring for athletic purposes. Mind you, the daddy had already been the coach at Hightower, Adam. He'd already been there. They did not let Nick Wise play. So Nick Wise went on transfer that particular year. He went to Westfield for about 2 weeks and then ended up at Kingwood before the start of that season, where he took Kingwood to the state tournament. They ended up going to the state tournament 3 years in a row. The dynasty was built with Kingwood High School. But back to this. So I've seen it happen. But I don't think that the coach at Summer Creek High School would dare stoop to those lengths. If a player wants to go, nowadays a lot of high school coaches are in the mood. If a player wants to go, then you let him go. Because if a player wants to come to you, you're going to expect that the same courtesy from a fellow college high school coach. Summer Creek is loaded, guys. They just got the star player from Port Arthur Memorial coming over there. So if you don't want, yes. You see, Amory.
See, keep on talking. I'm a kid. Keep on talking.
So you connecting the dots.
Yes.
So that might have been a spot. That might have been, sometimes, and they're loaded. I'm saying they're loaded.
I know they was talking about how good they were going to be.
Talking about the creek rising and all that. So understand. I know I haven't talked with Coach Coleman from Summer Creek, but I know Coach Coleman. Guess what? Summer Creek just lost a potential starter. He's at Atascocita right now. Well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that little area out there is it's something going out in that area. Okay.
It's on it, but at the same time, Summer Creek is not going to hold this young guy back and write off on him.
Coleman don't seem
he's
like
not.
that type of guy.
I've spoken with Coach Coleman about that. He said no, he's not going to get in the way of that. He just won't coach from Atascocita to make sure they play him. Don't set him on the bench. Make sure he play when they play Summer Creek now.
Wait a minute. Atascocita or C.E. King?
No,
you're talking about the Summer Creek guy that left. Okay.
The one kid left Summer Creek a couple of months ago, and now he's at Atascocita.
What grade is he in? What grade is he in?
He's an 11th grader right now.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about first.
But
now, meanwhile,
Atascocita is loaded, Jimmy. Atascocita is loaded.
He's loaded, but this young man that's about 6'2", and he's a good piece. He can shoot the hell out the ball. So he's going to, and understand.
Hey,
so
Jimmy, hold on, Jimmy. What in the hell is the Nissaville doing out there in that area? Nissaville, why is all this? I'm blaming this on the Nissa. This her area out there, Jimmy. What's the hell? What my man said, what's the hell's going on? Come on, Jimmy.
Yeah, and so see, follow me what's going on now. What I didn't mention to you guys is that C.E. King,
is going
according
on?
to
Everybody
the new
pump the
realignment
brakes.
from the
Everybody's
UIL, they are now in the district with Atascocita and Summer Creek. They're in the same district.
Wait a minute. Who in the district with
C.E. King is in the same district now.
But Jimmy,
Now,
does
C.E.
C.E. King
King
have any good? I mean, this kid, I know.
Yes.
C.E. King got
They have a 6'7" that's ranked amongst the top 30 in the area.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Is that the same school district that the lady who cooked your food and make you breakfast? Is she in that same district? Is she's a teacher in that same district? So some of them little kids I saw at that little middle that team that she was sitting there watching. Some of these kids in the future gonna be playing at C.E. King. Am I connecting the right dots?
I don't know what kind of dots you connected, but
All right, but keep going. But that's all. I'm just saying. Do Mrs. Hicks? Don't she work in one of them districts?
She works there, and my baby girl, the daughter, is the attendance clerk at I got it all. And guess what? And the son works in the administration building. We got it all over there.
Wait a minute. Isaiah work in the administrative building?
Yeah.
Okay, Jessica. Okay. Forget that. Let's stay on basketball. You know, because my mind just wandered. So I think that's a great thing for Javon. Because think about it. If I watch Javon play, Javon likes to run stuff. Me just watching him play with the Harden team. Look, Javon plays better and feels a lot better, seemed like to me, when he got the ball. That seemed like it was too many balls about to be shared at Summer Creek, Doc. So I think it's a great move for, because some guys ain't equipped for that. But Javon Jackson is equipped to have a ball. He can scramble the eggs and cook it and serve it too. So I mean, I think that's a great thing about that. But Anissa, your area out there, you giving me pause out there. But what else we got, Jimmy?
She giving you what?
She giving me pause. Her community out there is giving me pause. It's too much moving around out there. So, but Jimmy, speaking of high school basketball, and I hate to go there, but it's on my mind. I don't want to get off the show. Shout out to my man, JVF Francis. And I know we're going ahead, but he's still high school basketball. He committed to my second favorite college, U of H. So, Jimmy, I'm so proud of that situation, Jimmy. I saw the post. So we can get back to where you were. But before we get up, I wanted to just shout out to him.
Yeah, man. And that's so
what else happened?
That's the news. Now, also, of course, this past weekend, I got a chance to go and out to Legacy High School on Saturday, and I spent a couple of hours, about an hour and so, watched a couple of games, and had to get out there and get on the road to go to Louisiana for the big event that was down there, and it was called the Statement Session. The Statement Session in Louisiana.
What was your reason to go, Jim?
Well, a lot of people may not be aware, but I am on the selection committee for the NBPA Top 100 camp.
That's right.
And that is the most prestigious camp in the country. And the thing is, I don't go, and as you guys may know, and I give you guys understanding, a lot of people who are on the selection committee, you don't see them on social media flaunting their position.
In their Philly, okay. Just
like you don't see McDonald's All-American voters on social media flaunting, hey, I'm a voter. Hey, in other words, you're not supposed to use your platform as direct influence to make people think that they got to come to your event in order to attend or get an invite to one of those platforms. So that's the etiquette of being on the selection committee. Mm-hmm. They don't put it in writing, but it's just known. You just don't do that.
Okay.
Now, so I don't go, every now and then I remind folk and people know, hey, I'm on the selection committee. And there's about 7, 8 people on the selection committee of the NBPA Top 100 camp. So what I have to do now is, being on the pandemic where a lot of people aren't able to travel and see as many players as they would have during the grassroots season, right? During sneaker ball, there was no sneaker ball. So now I got to get off my butt. Now I got to go outside of the normal confines of my jurisdiction to go watch some players. And this event was basically 30 of the top, let's say 50 players in the state of Louisiana, and which were invited. It's invite only. They didn't have to pay any money, Hatter. This is a free thing. No money being paid. This is an invite only. You come, you play one day, and Mal Mundy is the young man who organized and directed this event, and to basically galvanize the state of Louisiana towards a new movement and helping them to attain exposure. There was a lot of people present from media outlets all the way, extending all the way over from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way across ways to the state of Texas. So it was great because the event was compact, and basically they got there and they played games. Every team played about 3 games and abbreviated games, like a half. And 2 courts at a brand new school, I think Southside High School is the name of it, right in the shadows of Lafayette, Louisiana.
How far is that drive from here?
About 3 hours.
Okay.
About 3:15.
Okay. When
you get, which not bad. I mean, good weather, good drive. Mm-hmm. As long as there's no accident. And I'm going to share with you guys some of my top performers that I saw yesterday at the statement session. And
Jimmy,
and I'm
what
glad.
What was the purpose of the camp? Because how I am. What was
the purpose of the camp? Is
it annual?
Once again,
Jimmy, I'm sorry. Is it annual?
No, this is the first time they're doing it.
Okay.
First of all, once again, it was no cost. It was invite only.
No. I'm just want to know, why would they do it?
The purpose is to get them, the state of Louisiana, which we all know, is often under the radar when it comes to national exposure.
Okay.
Meaning that it really can be costing. This lack of playing this past summer really put a dent in some of their talent to being able to be seen against outside of their normal elements. So this was an effort by Lil Mundy to showcase the talent around the state of Louisiana. You get some guys that come in and watch this talent. You had the guys that was there from Made Hoops. Made Hoops is the group that Chad Babel works with that ran the events that was in conjunction with the EYB events, not part of the EYB. They were ran as a sidekick at some of those events you will see for the younger teams. They were there. So it worked out because if I come and I saw definitely there was a player or possibly 2 that will almost surely, as I watch him and keep the tabs on those 2 guys along the next couple of months, they're probably likely to get my vote. Now, what I got to do, I got to convince one of the other committee members to go and check them out either virtually or in person. That way because I know one for sure I'm going to hit the table on.
Is he about 6'7"?
About 6'7", 6'8".
Jimmy, I don't know who you're talking about, but I know when you that size there and you go and dominate an event, that 6'7", 6'8", is a great number. But Jimmy, we're not going to take another break. So you can just go on to it. Let's get on to it.
Yeah. So
and I want to know where you ate. Hold up. Several people want to know where you ate up there. And then they got a kid, because you're not a college coach. Somebody just asked about a kid, Keon Coleman. Was he there? Was a kid named Keon Coleman was there? Jacoby
Keon Coleman.
Yes.
I don't know all the names by heart.
Okay.
We have a program. One thing about it, I got a program right here. This is what the evaluators got. Okay. It's an evaluators booklet. And so in the evaluators booklet, I'm going to try to turn to a page where I don't have any notes.
Well, Jimmy, Jimmy, he not one of those two you talking about. So I'm sorry, Jacoby. Little Keon must just show up down there.
No,
man.
I mean, you know what? I really know a lot of these kids by their numbers.
Okay.
Really, the way I programmed my mind, I was locking in numbers because I knew it only had a short time. We only had a 4-hour window to evaluate. It's only 4 hours.
Wow.
It started at about 10, and it was over. It was over at about one something.
Was that a rule? Is that a rule?
No, that's all. They just made it compact so those kids can get back home wherever part of the state they were from. They were from all over Louisiana, Shreveport, New Orleans.
Was Fob there? Because Fob seemed to know everything they going on there.
Fob was there. He's from that.
Because he said Coleman was on the football field, Jimmy. He wasn't invited. He's a football player.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't remember Coleman there, but if you say the number, and then speaking of the numbers, I'll give you guys some of the numbers of players that piqued my interest during the event. And this is the statement session. Okay. One of the young men, I start off with the seniors. Get the older guys out the way. Okay. It's the class of 2021. Right? And the class of 2021, and no particular order, guys. I didn't rank the kids for you guys. I'm just giving you some numbers. Number 123, Derek Tizino. And Derek Tizino he's bouncy, athletic as hell, and he has offers, and he lived up to it because coming into that event, he was number 1 ranked player in the state of Louisiana according to Prep.
Okay.
So this wasn't one of those events. This was one of those events where the number 1 ranked player in the state that was a senior was there. Number 1 ranked player in the state that was a junior was there. The number 2 ranked senior. No, I mean, understand, there was a lot of the top ranked players there.
Well, Jimmy, they needed to be here because they needed to be here because of But keep going.
What it does is it adds validity because they showed up. You can give all the events you want, but if the kids don't show up, then it's like you crying wolf. Remember the old fable, no tale about the boy who cried wolf?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you say so and so going to play.
So
see, there's a way to use a play on words, Howard. You should say so and so is scheduled to play.
Or being
that way.
What about invited?
Or so and so has been invited to play. But that means if invited, he hadn't even accepted. That don't mean that he accepted or not. You're supposed to say, well, he's scheduled. Scheduled means he's accepted his invite. That means he's committed to you to come. He's scheduled to be there. Now, if you just say he's been invited, you ever saw some of those flyers before at the nightclubs? Yeah. Back in the days? Yeah. When they say, so and so is invited. That means, and I remember
special invited guests. Jimmy, special invited guests.
That's what they say. Special invited guests.
Yeah.
That don't mean shit. That don't mean they're going to show up at the event. You're going to spend your damn money. Well, where's so-and-so? They ain't tell you they was going to be there. They said they was invited. That's really true. And that's a legal way for them to look at you and say, well, I didn't tell you that. I said, well, special invited guest.
You was invited.
So in this situation, guys, be careful of the events that you attend, especially when you spend. I said I was answering Kim Jackson's question. Kim, you asked me, you say you spent your hard-earned money to go to an event and somebody didn't play. You thought that somebody from Eisenhower or Hightower didn't play. Well, guess what? That person, if that person advertised that those kids would be playing, that means they went out their way to specify. that a certain kid would be playing, that kid not playing or not even there.
I got a question, Jimmy.
You should ask for a reason.
Coach, I got a question for Kim. Kim, you went for did you go, because I thought Kim had a son in this stuff. Kim, did you go there just for that? Did you pay money to go see a certain player? Or you just said, I mean, I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Do y'all go and see a certain player, or are you going to see the tournament? If you're going to see the tournament, okay. If the marquee player shows up, he just shows up. But you got to understand, the marquee players are not bound to these events. These marquee players are bound to themselves. They're not bound to an event. So I don't know whether it was advertised, because she was saying something about Jimmy. A lot of teams was playing a JV team. Well, JV players got to play too. Hey, JV players got to play too. So, I mean, Kim, I don't know exactly what happened, but did you pay your money to see a certain player that was not there? That's key. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I didn't want to interrupt.
But yeah, and if you did, then like I said, you guys, that should make you smarter. And that's why I always tell people, you're the consumers. When you attend these events, you're the consumers. So if you ask the question, like Kim asking, guess what? I'm going to check because you're asking. I'm going to ask, and guess what? If a person is not playing, I have no problem. That's why I always say the teams that these guys play on is playing. I just use different words. But if you really want to know, because I don't know who's not playing. I'm on an assumption that everybody's at full throttle. But if you need, that's a call for me to check, because that means that person is paying their hard-earned money. I'm going to check. And I'm going to let the coach know, Coach, if there's something that don't feel right, ain't right, then I need to know so I can change the damn schedule. I'm not going to waste nobody's time. That's the same thing like the Super 16. I always ask my teams, if you have 2 or more starters who's not going to be able to play this weekend, you don't even get an invite. I can't let you play. I had one school was actually going to send their second team to play. Alan?
Yeah.
And the thing about it, it's a small world in this stuff. You know why? Because kids talk. Kids talk to their parents. Parents want to know why they ain't playing. Then this and that, talk to that. Then the next thing you know, it's easy to find out amateur basketball. So I had to call that high school coach, that head coach. Hey, yo, man, what you trying to do? Well, man, we want to just combine the teams so we can get a look at it. No. This ain't the Super 16 ain't the place for you to be experimenting. That's why you got the other event. This event from 2004.
Them guys going after your head at the Super 16. Yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
You go play in them other events, experiment. You don't come now. I'm not going to. No. If that's the case, then you need to pull out. That's exactly what I tell the coach. And I'm telling you, you're not going to pull the Jack Yates and put 25 people on your bench either. I have a limit. 15 players on your roster. That's it. So all that combining the teams, you're not going to do it at this event. This event is prestigious. Mm-hmm. It's been going on, and it would be wasting another team's time for you to come at half mads. That's why on Saturday, out of the games, we respect the SAT testing. If a team has players taking an SAT test, they don't play on Saturday morning. They don't start playing until the afternoon. That's why the Saturday games start so late for so many people in that Super 16. With all respect, this event, once again, if it's prestigious, we have to treat it that way. How are we treated that way? You're going to see Rick Nelson and his full crew of Exquisite Elite Cleaning gonna be all over the place with their vest on, cleaning and sanitizing every damn thing on this weekend. You won't see that. You know why? Because I'm paying for that. You know why? Because it's prestigious. If it's prestigious, you got to pay the cost to be the boss in the world of being prestigious. And that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have a trainer that's gonna be on site at the Super 16. If the kids need to be taped up and whatnot, we got the trainer there. Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab, they was on site last year. They on site this year. Guess what else we going to have this weekend, Adam?
Well,
I went out the way, prestigious. Every single game will have a complete box score. I ain't talking about a guy at the table doing stick men on the sheet. I ain't talking about that. Every
you ain't going to have no analytics.
Every game will have a box score. Now, what I've learned is the colleges have their own software. They can scan the box score numbers in, and it will automatically spit out the analytics they need based on the minutes that the kid play. We have box score. Who's doing those box scores? The same person who does the box scores for University of St. Thomas, Prairie View, and Texas Southern University. Them same people that on them college games is the same people every court. And guess what? If you guys want to, and that's an extra expense that I'm willing to pay to keep for prestigiousness. That's what you got to do. That's the thing.
So where will these box scores be available at? Who would they be available to?
Would they be available to a parent? They would be no. They would be available. The parents and everybody would be able to get them. We will upload them into the app after the event.
Okay.
After the event is over, then we'll upload them into the app for their parents. Meanwhile, the coach will get one of every team, and all of the college coaches will get one 15 minutes after each game ends.
Gotcha. Okay.
You got to realize those things, it costs money to get those people to come and do that stuff. Every game is over. It's 50-something games will be played at the gym. So that's what's going on this weekend, the Super 16 extravaganza. And we have one team, another piece of breaking news, one team that had to pull out the event, Hatter, and because of how you say it, COVID. COVID. So there's a team, and I'll announce it tomorrow because I'm giving the school, they asked me to give the school a chance because they're expected to shut down operations at that particular high school for at least 4 days. Why they do some, what they call it, contact tracing or whatever on that. So one school has pulled out and they've been replaced already. I contacted 2 schools and told one, hey, whichever one of y'all reply first, that's who got it. And one of the schools have replaced them already. Now, let's get back to these names and these of the guys who perform well at the statement session. I told you guys, I do it like this. I told you about Derek Tizino. This is his information right here. Derek Tizino is 6'5". He's at North Central High School in Louisiana. This guy here is a 12th grader. Another young man that performed well is Will Allen. As you see, I wrote in Will Allen, he's going to Louisiana Tech. Adam. Will is about 6'8". I loved Will's energy. I really did over the weekend. Louisiana Tech, they're going to have him in the front court in 2 years with your boy, with Ken Lofton Jr. Hey, they're going to be all right. This is going to be all right.
Okay. No, I was laughing because I'm you keep on doing what you're doing because I don't want you to stop and address this one. Because my boy Fob, he just can't help it. But who else? I can't help it. He tell me, I keep telling Hicks no one cares about all of those nice things. Sloan didn't have anybody and considered one of the best events in the state. All people care about is the matchup of the game. No one cares about how much you pay. It's like the corner store in the hood. We're going to come regardless. Okay? Some of y'all are. But some of y'all ain't going to get. Some of y'all are, but not all of y'all. But Jimmy, you can address that if you want to.
The thing is, at some point in time, John Urie thought the same way when he ran events. Remember that.
He ain't running events no more, though.
At some point in time, even before Hal Pashner sold to Kingwood, it was that 1 year it took a hell of a dip because they had started the EYBL. he thought the same thing. A lot of times in doing tournaments, there are people that do stuff, and the game will pass you by, or people will decide to be in control of their dollars. Once the consumer becomes the informed consumer, then your ass is vulnerable.
And I got something for Fob. Sometimes people move out the hood. Sometimes, since he said it's like the corner store in the hood. Sometimes your people don't want to go at the corner store no more. They want to go to HEB and get some fresh produce. But who is the next guy, Jimmy?
And the next guy, and of course, Brian Jolivet said, I asked a question about stats for some about 2 months ago. Yes, Brian Jolivet, the difference is to get these box scores, it costs $40 a game. You can go get a guy to keep the book for $10 a game. It costs me $40 a game per court to get those box scores done. So that's the investment that I'm willing to make in that. That's the thing. Is everybody going to be willing to make that type of investment to get box scores at their subsidiary events? Hell no, they not. You know why? Because I see too many people putting people out the stands to keep the books and stuff. Some people don't even keep them at all. I'm serious about the stats because the people that know me and my events, I'm one of the few people who actually go through every single stat sheet or the box or the score sheet after all my events. If you guys have been around me, you know it. I go through every one of them. Every single one of them, I go through them. So now, next up, from the Louisiana Statement Session, number 109, Daniel Ortiz. This young man right here, he's a guard, and he's signed with Northern Alabama. And he's pretty doggone, he was fun to watch. He was kind of like the Chris Paul out there, but however Chris Paul, but the thing only knock on little Daniel is that his team didn't win a game. And I'm normally big on point, but it's a camp setting, so I didn't discredit him a whole lot, and before not generating wins with that team. There's only 6 guys on each team. Next up, you guys, I'm telling you about the 12th graders right now who performed well. Here's another young man, Jonquarius McGee, number 101, right? Number 101, Jonquarius McGee. He's a gritty guard, strong frame, rebounds good. I like him. He's signed with Nicholls State. They got a really good player with him, man. I'm telling you. And I'm looking at some of these guys, if you think I'm joking, look him up and probably go and Google this guy. Watch his body and watch how he plays. And then you go in the scene, you're thinking your son, right? And he's about 6'2", out of Opelousas High School. And you think your son can go to Nicholls State, while Austin Clunch is the head coach and Joey Brooks is the assistant coach. Both were teammates at Strake Jesuit High School back in 2009. You think your kid doesn't go there and out? This dude got a chance to be special. I'm talking about all conference type of a talent. Next up, going through, make it easy, that way some people can see, is number 124, Jamon Vincent. Jamon Vincent used the glass well on the mid-range.
I ain't heard that in a long time.
Knocked down the three, smooth. He's ranked number 6 in the state of Louisiana.
I ain't heard that
and this young man,
a kid using the glass. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Used the glass, not once. He used the glass a couple of times. I was like, okay, he's doing that on purpose. He's trying to use the glass. They got another kid. Speaking of this kid, Jordan Dishman, number 127. Number 127, Jordan Dishman. He's a kid with the husky frame, got a husky frame, right? Played on the inside, kind of intrigued. Got one of those high butts like Kenneth Lofton had. This is Jordan. That's me. Husky kid. But get up and down that court really, really quick for his size. He's at Holy Savior. He's 6'8". Jordan is ranked number 15 in the state of Louisiana. He played like it. So you just kind of measure and see what they have him listed at. Another kid, as I move on down, I'm only going to name about 3 more seniors. And how about this young man right here? Came in, wasn't even ranked in the state, Hal. Number 104, Gage Larvadian. Gage Larvadian. He's a lefty, right? One thing I liked about him, got a little energy. He's ain't a 5'10". You know, you like them short ones like that. He quick, talk smack, kept everybody involved. He was a little old lead on the team, getting it in, got a little hitch in his shot. He get that corrected. But I like it. Little fella, little Gage. How about another one? Number 106. This name is going to get me. I'm going to tell you something, man. People in Louisiana name their kids. I don't know where they get that. I mean, every kid down there say got 3-4 syllables in their name. How about this one? Kendrick De La Houssaye. How spell that name for you?
De La Houssaye. Okay.
Kendrick De La Houssaye, right? Number 106. He's at Lafayette High School, so he was right at home. 5'11", little guard. He kept knocking down them little old short jumpers and the long jump behind the three-point line. He loved that right side of the court, loved him, and he, you know what? He kept giving it to him. He kept knocking them shots down. Not just one game, just over and over. Another young man is number 116, Shamar Bryant. Shamar Bryant. Now,
I got a quick question. Which one of the guys you saying that you can vote? You might have to vote. You might have to give them your vote.
That's the one that's coming up next.
Oh, okay, okay.
These are the seniors right here, because the seniors they're not going to be eligible to play in Top 100 camp. These guys will be graduating. It's the upcoming class of 2021.
Okay.
2020.
My bad. You're right.
This kid is not ranked number 32 in the state. I don't know if it's Shaman or Shamar, because in the booklet it's typed one way, and on the internet, on the Prep Hoops website, I looked up and cross-referenced what each kid is ranked. He's ranked number 32 in the state of Louisiana. That's what the number is up here. But it's not. Which one is the correct spelling of the name? He's from Bossier. That's right outside of Shreveport, right across the bridge from Shreveport. Shaman Bryant, 6'6", number 116. Like him, man. Long drink of water, commanded good handles, played well. And of course, another kid came late named Jaden Shelvin, and he didn't have a number on. Now, he came out there and was smooth as it gets, and he's from St. Thomas More High School. And those rounds out the 10 of the seniors that played well. I'll give you 5 juniors. Cut this thing in half. 5 juniors. Now, we'll start off with, in no particular order, Rayshawn McClure. This little guard, 6'1", from Huntington High School. Huntington High School is in Shreveport, Louisiana. Ironically, Huntington High School is the same school that both of my sisters went to. Actually, one of my sisters went there and was the very first class of Huntington High School. I want to say in the year 1974 is when Huntington, I think, first opened up. My sister was part of that first class. My brother-in-law was a star quarterback on the football team for my oldest sister. Huntington High School, this young man here, Rashawn, he reminds me how he's kind of like your son was. That same body frame coming up in the 10th grade.
What's his name again?
Rayshawn McClure.
Okay.
McClure.
I like him already. Right here. Keep going.
Now he has a couple of offers on the table. The thing is, this young man, his body frame is probably not going to be attractive to none of the Power 5 schools that he probably feels that he's good enough to play at. And that's going to probably be the thing that's going to hinder him if he understand, because a lot of those schools is going to recruit from the transfer portal, meaning that next year, as I say it again, a lot of people it is widely expected for the NCAA to permit every student athlete to transfer one time without sitting out. So the need for a high school player is going to be depleted because they know they're going to get something out of the portal. They know it because of the minutes. And at that level, they're playing hell. You just said, what number go on the chalkboard that Chris Walker's been on the chalkboard all the time?
8.
8. How many on scholarship? It's 13 on scholarship. There's going to be up to 5 people that are going to be pissed off on minutes per game. Despite all of that damn talk about academics, about how you love, and you parents, oh, we just gonna love the academic. They have the best engineering school. They have the best. They have the best architectural school. They have the best agriculture school. That shit ain't gonna matter to none of y'all when little Johnny getting 2 minutes a game. Yep. Remember that. We'll get back to that on another topic later on. But let's get on these young juniors. I mentioned Rashawn McCullough, and he was definitely fun to watch. He lived to the height. He's just not quite a high major. He's a mid-level at best prospect. And I hope that once he is seasoned and embraces that, guess what? You can go to the mid-level school. What I just tell you what's probably going to happen. If everybody would be able to transfer one time without sitting out. If your ass is that good when you get there to whatever mid-level school that offers you a scholarship, you can go to a bigger one. If LSU wants you in, they're offer, you go in. If that's what you want to do, that's for anybody, not just talking to the young fella, but anybody out there. If that be the case, don't play with these offers. That's my point. Next up is number 105. How about this name, Adam? Just pronounce the name and you'll understand why I'm laughing.
Look like Alizé.
Alizé. That's Alizé Johnson. It used to be an old drink used to call Alizé, ain't it?
Yeah.
They just didn't spell it right. Sometimes
yeah.
I want to meet the parent. I want to ask them. I just got a question for the parent.
What?
I want to ask for a friend. I just want when I meet the parent. Alizé Johnson, but all seriousness, guys, number 105. This young man is a point guard. He stayed within his range. He was steady, not fancy. Has the size. He's 6'2". Go to Helen Cox High School down in the New Orleans area. He's a starter. He's the projected starter for that Florida League, Randy Livingston, Nike EYBL team. Okay. He was a starting point guard, I think, this year as an 11th grade. As a rising 2022.
Was Randy at the event?
Randy wasn't there, but Clee was. Okay. The guy who has the name is on the paperwork. Mm-hmm. You know, they co-directors. Yeah. But Clee used to run the Alfred Payton elite team. Mm-hmm. He was there. This is, I'm giving you guys only 5 or 6 of the juniors. And I just named you 2 of them. And I named you Rashawn McCullough and Alizé Johnson. In case you were wondering, Alizé is ranked number 9 in the state. And in case you're wondering about Rashawn, he's ranked number 7 in the state of Louisiana. Next up, number 120. Number 120, Kyron Ratcliffe. Kyron Ratcliffe, he's 6'9", goes to Booker T. Washington. He's ranked number 3 in the state, and he wore number 120. He's athletic. He's active. He had a good-looking stroke. Knocked down his free throws. A little bit raw on the offensive end, but solid for 2022. I'm talking about for raw being for high major. But he can play his way in easily. He has that body. Number 121, Haller. Alex Hammond. He's ranked number 18 in the state, right? And Alex Hammond is 6'3" at McMain High School. Alex Hammond, he's ranked, once again, I told you, 18 in the state. And last but not least, you got the big fella, number 128, Percy Daniels. He's at Madison Prep. And Percy made his presence felt right out of the gate before, and eventually he had to lay it down, and after he rolled, had a slight rolling of the ankle and had to ice him on down. But this young man right here is pretty one to watch. He's ranked number 1 in the state of Louisiana. That's what that 1 is on the screen. He's ranked number 1 in the whole state amongst all of the class of 2022. I want to thank you guys for your patience.
On Madison Prep, that's where the young fella played in the league. He out of the league now, probably. The kid, Madison Prep, they came down here and played against West Side at the yeah.
And Rick Nelson's, they were a fixture at Rick Nelson's event for you.
No, that was at South. That was at St. Thomas. That was at St. Thomas with Madison. What's the guy name that went to LSU? The player's name who went to LSU. 2013 kid. Went to LSU.
Oh, Greg Monroe?
No, 2013 kid.
Oh, Greg Monroe way before then.
Yeah, 2013. He just,
what are you talking about?
What's the kid went to LSU? Man. Oh, man, God.
Oh, you talking about, is that? No.
Because Louisville was here to watch him. It's Gerald. It ain't Mitchell. Jarrell something. That's it. It's Jarrell something, Jimmy. Played at LSU.
I remember Jarrell. I thought Jarrell,
played at Madison.
Did he play with Dallas team? Didn't he play with one of the Dallas? Didn't he play with one of the Dallas teams? Jarrell Martin. That's it.
Jarrell Martin. Thank you, DT Evans. Thank you, baby. Oh, thank you so much. Jarrell Martin.
Yeah, man, had to get that one out of there.
Because they played against Robin them. Robin them beat the hell out of Madison Prep.
You sure that wasn't Rick Nelson event? Remember he had it at St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. I got pictures of the event and videos of the event.
I know. I'm saying.
At St. Thomas, Rick Nelson did an event.
Yeah, he had it at 2 courts at 2 locations. Remember, he did it at Episcopal and St. Thomas for a couple of years. He had 3 courts running for his
I don't remember it being Rick Nelson's event. I just don't. But I remember that story. I remember Jarrell Martin. Thank you so much, y'all.
Yeah, man. Thank.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and also once again, we just tuned in. I just gave you guys a brief recap on some of the top performers from the statement session in Louisiana. And one thing about it, guys, it's just that simple. The little guy, Maul Mundy, he called up on me and in doing his scheduling and asked me, would I attend? And I said yes. And upon doing so, it's just that simple. A lot of people don't ask. And and one thing about it, as I said before, there's going to be at least one of the 2022s, 1 or 2, that will get invites just based on what I saw, not invites, I'm sorry, will get votes based on what I saw this past weekend. It's just that simple. And that's how the exposure can come to an area. But you got to have talent to make it worthwhile. That was a lot of them. If you think about the amount of players who were ranked in their state, who were in attendance, Adam, and that were ranked, I say ranked mean in the state of Louisiana. Now understand, not comparing Louisiana to Texas for talent, the depth of talent. No, we have more people, so it should be. We're 5 times the size, or 7 times the size, it should be. So at the same time, they had, I would say at least 20 of those guys that were ranked in the top 25 of their respective class that were in attendance. It's good. So good job for the first time. Good job. Especially not being in there all day. And the kids having to drop, kids get tired. It's nothing but basketball. And guess what? The college coaches were coaching the teams. So little Larry Cordero was there, coaching the team. LSU Alexandra, LSU Eunice. You had Angelina down there scouting. You had a lot of junior colleges there. They had a lot of coaches. And I think at least a half dozen players picked up offers right on the spot. So it served its purpose. And so thanks so much, guys, in regarding to that. And we, once again, coming up on tomorrow, John Lucas is going to join us tomorrow on the Back Nine. We're going to talk playoffs. Right, it's right on time. Actually, we were expecting him last week, but the day got pushed because we thought we was going to have Joe Wooten on with the McDonald's thing, and now somebody done got Joe Wooten, and he know the chop shop. Howard done spooked him. Howard got the man down. The man, he don't even want to come on now. He didn't say he didn't want to come on, but now he's running. Run.
Jimmy, I just got some questions for him now.
I'm gonna eliminate. You know me. I'm gonna eliminate the excuse. Guess what? You keep running. I'm gonna keep chasing until a while till you just finally say, man, you know what? I ain't coming. That's what you're gonna tell me. And when you say you ain't coming, then that way now it's on. Because now you can't afford to turn this down. In regarding to the question about the upcoming camp that's kind of somewhat supposedly affiliated with the McDonald's All-American game. So that will be on tomorrow. Carlos Hurt going to join us on Wednesday. We have Jeffrey on Thursday to cap off a week as we head into the Super 16 extravaganza, which will take place start on Friday. And one of the things I mentioned about the Super 16, we'll talk about it each and every day leading up to it. You can download the RCS Sports app to get your schedule, or just go to the front of rcsports.com, rcsports.com website, and you can see the schedule right on the home page. It doesn't cost you a dime to check it out. Meanwhile, a lot of people who are watching from Louisiana neighbors, don't forget about the spring icebreaker. It's going to take place March the 19th through the 21st. Giving out $10,000.
I can imagine how many of those flyers are in them people's restroom down there in Louisiana, in them people's restaurant, in their hotel. I can imagine. I respected the young fella's event because he does an event in New Orleans the same weekend at the icebreaker. Oh, you know what?
So
I
didn't want to do him like that. Out of once again respecting the game. Right. You don't go to his platform and tag it with your graffiti.
Yeah.
So I didn't put any flyers out at his event because I didn't want to, do that to him because I'd have been.
I got you. Okay. But I did see something though, and a lot of people don't know when you cover events like that. When when you go down and cover events like that, because you got another function, you got to do a function. Well, you got a function as being one of those voters. You had to put your eye on that guy, those guys down there, because guess what? You're gonna be asked about the kids in this region.
Yes.
Yeah. And you had to go down because some people say, well, he ain't there. No, but you got to. That's why you go to Dallas. I know that's the reason you went to Austin. I know you was going for that guy's thing, but you have to put your eye on them guys. Like a lot of people don't put their eyes on these guys and just go by what somebody else say. You said, okay, man, I got to see these guys. And you got to, you even had some nuances. You talked about the lefty. Then you talked about the guy who liked to kiss it off the glass. So then you got a guy that's got a high middle section like
a high gluteus.
So Kenneth Lofton. So, but that's all, man. It's just I tell people you said something great a long time ago. You said input equal output. If you expect me to talk about what's going on and what's happening, y'all got to understand. I'm not Jimmy. I'm not going to all these events. But if you expect me to talk about Lil Johnny, I gave you my chop shop, htx@gmail.com. Jimmy, I looked in my mailbox, and I looked in our mailbox. Not one email, not one nobody telling me what nobody did, nobody did. And then how in the hell I'm going to talk about it on the show and ain't nobody gave me no damn information about nothing. I don't know who played who, and I don't care. But
that is, I was out of town and it was funny as hell. And that's why, I understand the angle from which Favre posted about a lot of people don't care. A lot of people don't care.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. But then the thing is, and it's kind of like, when I think of people like that, they'll see events and you think of the one moment and what these people think about is what makes it crunk. what makes it crunk to a lot of people is to sacrifice the safety and the health of the spectators to allow a packed house and to play in the midst of a pandemic. So that's the elements that goes into the ingredients that goes into it being crunk. And
so crazy.
And that's each his own.
Yeah.
Each his own. But at the same time, especially I experienced it finally because I went on Saturday, so I was there. And Alex Pugh was there, and a couple other guys I can go and have to call. I got to call them directly. Who won this game?
Right.
Who played the next game? None of the schedules were updated.
Yeah, but see, that's your responsibility, Jimmy. I mean, that's what you do. I'm talking about me. I'm your co-host on this show, and I don't have shit to talk about. Excuse my language, nothing to talk about high school basketball-wise, because nobody sent me nothing. They expect for me to go and figure that out? No, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Too late to send it to me now. ChopShopHTX@gmail.com. Don't you posting it now? It ain't gonna. I mean, I can't talk about it because I got to go. Cause me, when you send me those stats, guess what I'm gonna do, Jimmy? You know what I do? I'm gonna go ask somebody else. Hey man, did this happen there? Did this happen there? Did this happen there? So that's all, man. I mean, people got to quit being so damn ignorant. That's all I'm saying. All ignorant mean you don't know. The hell I'm gonna talk about something ain't nobody told me about it. Come on. The hell out of here.
You guys, you understand, you put, as you said earlier, put log, you want the fire to keep you warm, put logs in the fire. But we, I think all in all, as far as the events, that was a good effort and good showing up. A lot of the teams came out. They got a chance to test their mettle this past weekend. So, and then a lot of those teams will be playing this weekend as well. But as Howard just said, you guys expect for people to play hide and seek with the intel to help you promote or advertise or market your program, your team, your kids. Now you're getting it. You see, I've said this and preached this years ago.
I understand that, Jimmy. I promise you I do.
You understand that?
I promise you
years ago. I'm not, and I made the pledge 5 years ago. And I paid Doug Jones to go and get that information. Now, if you want me to talk about it, send it directly to. Send it to me.
That's all I'm talking about.
You got your email address, ChopShopHT. Don't tag me on social media. In case you guys don't understand, and if you go and you check my timeline, you will see a pattern. On the regular, now I don't say I don't do it on purpose, but I've got myself in shape. I've weeded myself off of so much social media.
Smart man.
As I used to do. Social media used to control my habits indirectly. And I had to weed myself off of the addiction. So that's why you mentioned I saw it. I said, well, damn, if I'm this addicted to Twitter and Facebook, then what the hell I do if I get on Instagram regularly or Snap? So I couldn't even do that until I could control myself and weed myself down. I go on Twitter early in the morning. Mm-hmm. I go on there right before the show comes. You look at my patterns, and I let everybody know the show's coming on. I might go and I scroll some things one time during the evening, and then maybe one time before I go to bed. I'm not on there. I don't have any alerts set on my phone whatsoever. Even my text messages don't have alerts. Well, it has a little ding on it, so that is an alert. But I mean one of those things that come across your screen. You know, that notification. Yeah. I don't have any notifications.
Yeah, I don't want nobody seeing myself no way.
Facebook, emails, I don't have any notifications activated on neither one of my cell phones. Because I purposely want to be in charge. That way, when I look at it, is when I want to look at it, and it's not gonna You're not going to abbreviate me. That's why I have two phones. If the important people in my life can't get me on one, they know how to get me on the other.
And Jimmy, I found out that social media, it's all according to what you use it for. Because I follow certain things and certain people, so I don't really have a problem with social media. Because Corey says social media is the devil. I know I try not to follow the devil, Corey. And if I see anything that I don't really like, I'll immediately unfollow those people. You know, and I use social media as a tool, as an information source, as a news tool that'll get it to me quicker than CNN will. You know, Jimmy, I'll tell you the story. Social media, I was in Orlando when Trayvon Martin got killed. Sanford is right outside of Orlando. Jimmy, I was out all the time. We were out doing. I was at the game. I think it was on a Sunday evening. I was at the game, so I wasn't checking. I wasn't watching TV. I found about Trayvon Martin's death on social media. You know, and so I think it's a great tool if you use it right. All I'm saying is, if you got something and you expect me to talk about it on this show, and you don't give me the respect to call and say, man, this what happened, this what's going on, this, y'all, don't get me confused with nobody else. If you want me to talk about it, you better send it to me, then I'll talk about it. So I'm just getting, I mean, because, dude, I don't have, because, I mean, then I have a parent would text me and say, Robert, you ain't said nothing about it, because ain't nobody told me about your son. You ain't told me. I don't know how many he scored. I don't know what the hell he did. And you just can't tell me he did well. Shit, everybody talking about he did well. He did well. No, I want to know what he did. Because you know how I'm gonna talk about. Because if you ball, you get the call. I done said this for so long. But keep going, Jim. What?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, everybody, you know, he did well, or so and so was on fire, so and so was cooking.
Yeah.
So I started learning to translate that. That normally means a guy hit 2 shots in a row. That's what I normally do. Whenever you see
not cooking.
person
Not cooking. Not cooking, Jim. Not cooking. 2 shots in a row.
On fire is 2 shots in a row. Cooking is 3 shots. 3 baskets. Not in a row, but 3 baskets. He's cooking. On fire is 2 shots in a row. And that's my normal translating. You think I'm joking? Wait till you go to the next game and watch a social media tweet that go out from somebody. I'm just talking about on the average. Not saying everybody's gonna, but just watch. If you're there,
yeah.
And I know you've been at games where people maybe tweet out or make a post, and you're at the same game. You're like, wait a minute, this dude killing, and killing. You know, so. But that's the thing. But then whatever it takes, then that's what a lot of people would do in order to get your dollar. Remember that. I'm just gonna keep it real. Remember, because of the fact that I'm in a state, whereas I haven't jived you guys from day one, and I'm not gonna start jiving you right now, especially when it comes to your dollars and your money. So that's the thing. So you guys, I'm reading.
And I'm not talking about no one person. Let's get this understand. It's not just on Sloan. Cause Bob, quit trying to be messy. I'm trying to cure a situation. If people want to listen, they can listen. If they don't, they have to. But with all the media sources and all of these information gurus we got around this city, and every day I said chopshop@email.com, chopshop@gmail.com. If you don't have my number, send it in there. I'm gonna check it and watch. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you didn't want me to say nothing about it, but don't come over here and talk about a damn event, event you had, and then I don't know nothing about it. What the hell I'm gonna say? Well, it was an event. this weekend. Nah.
And how to, and so that people know and understand, like I said, you're right. You got, I mean, it just for, and you mentioned this is not an attack on one event. This is about any events or any events. That's what I was talking about. Anybody that has a kid playing at an event. I was saying you sending me the intel. So I don't know the angle that you think I was coming from. I was talking to the parents.
Yes.
I was talking to the
I'm talking to
parents.
and I'm talking to
who I was talking.
I'm talking to whoever.
And I tell them all the time.
You talking to parents, right? I'm talking whoever was responsible for parents. I'm talking to you two, but whoever was responsible for getting it out. I mean, I didn't hear nothing about it. I promise you. I promise you. I don't follow y'all, so I don't see all of that stuff. So it's best to just say, "Hey, man, hey, this what's going on. It's okay. I'll talk about it." So if you didn't know, hold up. What they said, if you didn't know, now you know. So with all these media people,
and that's
in this city. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's.
I mean, it's all
think
right.
about it. What's the sale, the lure for most of these kids or these teams when you're going to events? You know, the two common denominators of the lures, most common used bait is exposure.
Okay.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And exposure is the most overused word they got out there. Mm-hmm. Exposure in college coaches. They're gonna say, well, college coaches are gonna be watching. And so is you're gonna get exposure because national recruiting scouts, that's how a lot of the flyers say will be there.
Yeah.
And so if that's part of the lure, part of the sale,
yes. And
if most of the people that go, if you're seeking exposure, then you should have, every parent should make an email block and BCC certain people within the working amateur media and email them after all of your events. I know the guy Frank Watson with the Brazoria Ballers.
Unbelievable.
Every week. Every week he would send a block of email out. Like on this Monday, we would have it Monday morning about what his kids did every weekend. Good, bad, or ugly. And what's the update on their recruitment of their likes. And it wouldn't be no fishy stuff about everybody going to Texas. It'll be some schools you never heard of. Boogaloo State, is in on so-and-so, which is good.
But Jimmy.
That's informative. Parents, everybody has the capacity to do that.
But Jimmy, Kim just said something, and maybe you can address this. I mean, we already over time. But Kim just said something. Hatter, no stats were given to you because they were JV teams. I wasn't there. See, I don't know, Kim. See, y'all got to realize I don't know. I have not talked to one person.
But that's news. What event is she talking about? This past weekend?
Yeah, she talking about the event this past weekend. She said that was
varsity teams, wasn't it?
I don't, man. Let me tell you something, man. All I'm trying to do,
went there. I saw varsity teams playing.
Okay.
I saw a couple of games. So if she's talking about a particular game, then that's something different. Of realize in fall shootouts, guys, there are certain high school teams that are going to utilize these fall shootouts for different purposes. Some coaches, because they can't get in their gyms, they just got in their gyms recently. Some coaches are utilizing these fall events as platforms for certain kids who are deemed to be on the bubble to play themselves onto the team or play themselves off the team. I'm talking about the varsity aspect of varsity. Right. So if that is known and understood, then there's no way for a lot of people to know that unless, like Kim asked me to ask, then unless you have to ask in advance. Now, I do know how I know that the teams that are playing in the Super 16, here's a difference. We have rosters. I didn't mention that earlier. You go look on the RCS Sports app right now. There are only 2 teams right now out of the 31 teams or 32 teams, there's only two, I think three that have yet to submit their rosters. I think Sharpstown, Side Creek, and somebody else. They're the only three that, and Sharpstown and Side Creek both played this past weekend. So they know what jersey they wear. The coaches hadn't got around to it today. So that means whatever player that is on that projected roster are the only ones eligible to play. My point is, ain't no JVs going to be coming over there unless you have a forfeit.
Okay.
They know that. Coaches respect.
Right. We just
I don't have to worry about that.
Sometimes, Jimmy, on Monday, sometimes you have to do a little house cleaning. I'm just doing a little house cleaning in my part. See, you, like you say, you went to the event. I'm not going and I'm not doing that. That's why y'all got to send me the information. Got to send it to me. I don't know if it was on. I couldn't even tell you if it's on Baller TV or not. I don't even know about. I did not have enough information about this event for me to me to talk about it. So that's why. No slight intended, but input equal output. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm good. Maybe next time. That's maybe next time y'all do better. When you know better, you do better. Let's get out of here, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You
So
you see anything good?
No, I think somebody had a comment about it, and I think on the YouTube feed, they said it's true, talking about what we just talked about, but you need 10 to 15 people to perform a good evaluation of players across the country. And that's Chuck McCown, and they have a conversation on that. And Jeffrey Day just posted there was varsity teams playing at the OTR high school shootout. The table only kept fouls, but he had someone keeping box score stats on the laptop.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, my bad. Well, then at least tell me, hey, look, Johnny did this, something,
What far earlier on that particular event, like I was talking in general, on that particular event, in any event, you're an event operator, and if you have the app set up where you have the schedule on that app, and if you've done it before, then that means you can do it again. That means at least keep the score, give them the results to the general public. That's all. I mean, it happens sometimes. That happens.
I'm good.
So
I'm good, baby. I'm good. So hey, you see anything else?
No, that's it, man. It's gonna get ready to slide on down Dino's back and yappa dabba do this thing for this Monday. We was in extreme overtime. Don't get, of course, tonight, Monday Night Football. Baltimore hosts Kansas City Chiefs
and we don't
this evening.
And we don't even have to do the game because I'd whoop you so bad. We don't have to. You wanted to count for three. You wanted to count for three if you picked the right one, man.
You want to count it for three?
No.
You want to count it for three?
No, sir.
And then also, guys, lastly, I'll leave you with something. If you know anybody that's seeking employment, they have a guy that's used to be a former college coach at the Division I level, and he is moving to Houston, where he will oversee as a contract with Amazon. You know those Amazon trucks that you see, the delivery trucks? So he'll be hiring up to 60 drivers to drive those trucks for the Amazon deliveries.
Okay.
And that, if you know anybody that has a driving record and they will pass a background check, send us an email at chopshophtx@gmail.com, and I will forward to you the information, the intel to get in touch with them, because they will be starting doing the interviews next week. Once again, you know anybody, I think it's the starting pay is $15 an hour. That's the starting pay for delivery drivers for those Amazon. Your employment won't be working for Amazon. Those delivery service they're outsourced.
Sure. Yeah.
So the name of the company, you get all that. Yeah. And I know the guy, he's a great guy. Once again, used to be a Division I coach at a Power 5 school.
That's good.
Great guy.
That's good.
So he's back in, and he asked me, he prefers student athletes or former former students, athletes, the first layer, because he was a basketball coach.
Gotcha.
And but
good.
if it's anybody that you have, they can pass the background check, then send them and help them get employed going into the holiday. This is a permanent position.
Awesome.
It's not a temp job.
Wow.
As well.
That's awesome. Jimmy, I got one more thing. Tomorrow, don't forget we got to talk about the Shadow Creek North Shore game. We didn't talk about that. We got to talk about that. That wasn't no whooping. Jimmy, that wasn't no whooping. Somebody said they were going to lose by 5 touchdowns. That wasn't no whooping.
We could have beat them by 5 touchdowns. Hell, you remember we saw Katy play North Shore, and the score was real close toward the end. And we left the game. The score was really close. And the Katy folk went home talking about, well, they only beat us by 2 touchdowns. Man, we left that game. They could beat them dudes by 1,000. That's what happened tonight.
No. I disagree. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Boy, that North side, something else, boy. That North side. I see your shot, North Shore. I'm still down with the Shadow Creek, but boy, that North Shore, they fine with a different old pistol out there.
Man, North Shore was lucky than I ain't gonna say it, but they was lucky.
That's lucky. On the Jim part, man. Anyway, guys, on behalf of Robert Allen, this is Jim Hicks. Make sure you share the show if you haven't done so already. Appreciate everybody, man. See you guys on tomorrow. Peace. Chop shop.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the